Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox on Tap. I am your boy Buzz. I am joined by my guys, Tony, a.k.a. Tony on Tap, Johnny Nani, and NWI Steve. And we are here with our White Sox season preview show. Before we get into this, be sure you're going on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Sox on Tap, at On Tap Sportsnet. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. 5-star rating and review because that's cool and tough. And this show is brought to you by Grandstand. Grandstand is the name, tradition is their game. Grandstand has been family owned and operated for 3 generations. Want authentic gear? Go to Grandstand and browse their amazing selection. From the south side to the north side to the west side to Lakeshore Drive, every team's gear is there. Grandstand carries all the major brands and officially licensed goods like New Era, Nike, Mitchell & Ness, and much more. Plus, Grandstand has the greatest Chicago sports selection under one roof for the entire family. From newborn to big and tall, they're sure to have something for you to rep your favorite team. Follow Grandstand on social media for all the new up-to-date releases and message your staff with any questions. Follow Grandstand on socials at grandstand_socks or go to grandstandsocks.com. Grandstand is located at 600 West 35th Street in Chicago, Illinois, and you can reach them by phone at 773-927-1984. Start a tradition with Grandstand today. Woo! That was a good ad read. Felt good. Getting myself hyped up. I got to crack a beer after. God damn, Buzz. You're just killing that shit. Here we go. Okay.
Guys, that's awesome. Especially since we just gave away the Tim Anderson jersey and the On Tap swag pack. The boys are back shirt because the boys are back tomorrow. I can't wait, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
The boys are back. That's great. I'm off to a hot start. I don't even know where I put my beer, so you can roll it in. I'm going to go find those because we're going to need them tonight.
How the hell you go and lose a beer before we even get going? Steve, comment on this man losing his beer. What's going on, man?
Look, season's already off to a great start here. I mean, you got Eloy, breaking his body in half, and Tony can't find a damn beer. Look, things are rolling already.
It seems to be that way. And Nani, I've missed you, bud. We haven't been on the mic together in a while. Steve and I and Tony and I have been, and Steve and I have been, or Tony and I have been, but we have not been on the mic together. Now we have the whole crew here. I just want to know how Nani's doing real quick.
Dude, Buzz, I'm doing well. And yes, it has been a while, but if people are wondering, if Sox on Tap listeners are wondering why I've been away or why Buzz and I haven't been on together, I've been on a few. I was on with one with Steve. We had Dan Zaborski on from Fangraphs, talked to him. That was great. But Buzz, you and I were on together because either the Bulls are playing one night and you're not on, or the Blackhawks are playing one night and I'm not on because I'm covering that, or you're covering the Bulls. So that is what is going on over at On Tap Sportsnet. That's why we haven't all been together here. But it is excellent to finally all have the full crew here. I'm excited to sit here and break down, 2021 season preview with you guys. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, I am so stoked. And it's just like, I got this energy about me right now because opening day is tomorrow. I feel like, dude, I'm fucking jacked. It's like I did a line of Pepsi. I am just so on fire right now. And
line of Pepsi?
Yeah, we're keeping a PG for the kids. I was keeping it PG for the kids. But, I'm just like super hyped, man. And like Nani said, between the Bulls and the Hawks and us kind of bouncing around those different sports and stuff like that, it's nice to get back to the core 4 here and start talking White Sox baseball. And it's here, guys. I mean, we're 24 hours out, like a little less than 24 hours out right now. And I'm so stoked, dude. I can't wait for this shit. I cannot wait.
Yeah, Buzz, I echo your sentiments, man. Spring training I always enjoy spring training because it's kind of stress-free, unless NWI Steve tells everybody that we need to have the will to win every single day, which also is hilarious. I love the troll, Steve. So you're going to have to elaborate on that a little bit as we get into the show. But I do like the calmness of spring training, but by the end, you're just itching to go, and I'm ready for competitive baseball again. How about you, Tony?
Johnny, I think that this is like Christmas Eve, man. We're sitting here cracking beers. Tomorrow is Christmas Day. It's the best holiday of the year. I can't wait. I love the 9:00 start too, Johnny. I think for you and I, this is prime opening day stuff right here. I know the 2 guys below us totally disagree with that, but like after 9 p.m. start, sign me up all the time because that's just prime drinking hours, man.
It's a goddamn travesty. Steve, how do you feel about that?
Well, listen, as the elder statesman of the group here, I think you guys can all guess my feelings on this late start time. It's not great, Bob. But with that being said, I can definitely tell you that I'm getting a funny feeling in my pants, thinking about tomorrow evening. It's almost here. We've been waiting 6 long months for this, and we're this close. We're this close. You can feel it.
That close. Run doorstep, boys. Like you said, Tony, I love the Christmas Eve analogy. I think that's perfect for it because it really does. You do feel like, when you wake up tomorrow morning, it's gonna be like a kid in Christmas Day. Steve and I, before you guys had jumped on and we were getting this whole thing set up, Steve had said, games are at like noon tomorrow, and that's, it's like, okay, so sure, we got to wait for the White Sox until 9, which is fine with you and me, Tony. But either way, we'll have other action to watch around the league. So definitely Christmas Day vibes there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the best part, Johnny, is because we can take in some baseball during the day tomorrow that we don't have to get all worried or bothered about. It's opening day. Let's watch some baseball. I hope you're grilling, drinking beers tomorrow early afternoon. I think it's just the perfect day to slack off at work a little bit and just get that baseball feel. And if you don't have the day off, you've got baseball on, you're watching it. If you've got that MLB TV package, and then at 9 o'clock when you're all ready to go, load it up a little bit after a couple of beverages. It's White Sox baseball time, and that's the best time to watch it.
12 hours of baseball, man. I mean, you might type, but you can't beat it.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah, I think maybe the only thing, Steve, that could be, like you said, like tying, like being there, would be the playoffs. Granted, there's less games because there's not all 3 teams playing at once, but you get like the kind of all day sort of like rolling through schedule, and then obviously it's high intensity. So I would say that matches it, but you can't really beat it, especially opening day. There's kind of the fresh slate sort of feel to it. So, boys, you guys ready to jump in and get into White Sox specific season preview here?
Oh, I'm damn ready, man. This is let's go.
All right, let's go. Opening day roster finalized here. I think everybody has seen, now the kind of list of everybody who's on there, most of what people expected, and obviously injury replacements here. But let's break down the moves that happened just before it. So Danny Mendick was optioned. That was kind of the on the fence candidate in my mind, and seemingly that was for Jake Lamb, who they just signed at the very, very end of spring training. Only got like that one game in there. So that was one move there. I'll let you guys, if you have any thoughts on that, we can do that after this. But they released Jonathan Lucroy, who looked for a little bit like he might be taking the backup catcher role, but obviously they're going to roll with Zach Collins. And I know Rick Hahn had made comments that, okay, well, I kind of pencil it in before I come to spring training and yada yada. Either way, expected one of the young guys to take it. So guess not surprising in the end there that Collins gets it, and he does deserve his chance and deserves it bad. So other than that, Vaughn and Mercedes make the cuts. I don't think Vaughn's a surprise, but Mercedes maybe a little bit. So guys, sound off here on initial thoughts. Who made it, who didn't?
I'll let Steve roll with this one. Go ahead, Steve.
Look, I think your mean Mercedes is an interesting, fun story here. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was a Rule 5 pick, spent some time playing indie ball, and really had to work his ass off to get to the big league. So, I mean, I think in a lot of ways that's kind of a feel-good story of perseverance, especially in a game of attrition like baseball, where failure is something that is so resounding throughout the game. And for a guy to stick with it as long as he has, to finally now get his shot, I mean, you got to feel good for the guy from that aspect of it.
SpaghettiOs.
Uh-oh.
I think we lost Steve there.
We lost Steve.
Steve's frozen.
That is what happens on live shows. You can't stop live TV, folks.
Yeah, you can't stop live TV. Buzz, you got anything, Mendick, thoughts there?
Well, yeah, I kind of thought that with Mendick, you guys know I like Danny Mendick. I think he's a good player, and see Jake Lamb make it over him. I know he has more experience. Obviously, he's a one-time All-Star back in 2017. Plays primarily. I don't know if he can move around the infield like Mendick did, but everybody keeps calling him old. And I mean, he's like 30. Like, am I old? Like, is it?
That's
over?
a scary question, Buzz.
Buzz, you
It's a scary fucking question.
I mean, in life, I would consider generally no, but in baseball, I mean, I think any, especially the stats guys, pretty much consider anything over like 26 old. So,
right. I feel like I could hit a dinger, like in
We got Steve back. We've got Steve back.
We'll let Steve finish.
We're trying to determine whether or not you're considered old at age 30.
Yes.
Shit. It's over.
Next question.
Did you want to finish your roster spots there, brother?
The bottom line on Jake Lamb is he's old, but we'll let Steve continue on Danny Mendick here real quick.
I mean, the Jake Lamb, Danny Mendick thing, I don't understand the whole Jake Lamb thing to begin with. I guess because it maybe insulates them a little bit if Moncada gets hurt and goes on the DL and he hits left-handed, I guess. Other than that, I don't really get it, if I'm being completely honest with you. Otherwise, I don't really think that there were a ton of surprises on the roster overall. I think it was pretty much set in stone for the most part. So, I mean, it just kind of was what it was.
The one guy that I want to talk about on the roster that kind of jumped out, and I think it was Jordan Lazowski who brought it up, and I'm sure you guys saw that little exchange, but Jose Ruiz with the roster spot. And then, he brought up the Carson Fulmer thing, and I may or may not have alerts set up whenever Jordan Lazowski tweets about Carson Fulmer to, get into his replies and remind him what happened there. But Johnny, there was like 1 week, man, on this show where we had some high praise for Jose Ruiz. And I wouldn't classify myself as a Jose Ruiz guy. And I just didn't really have him even on this picture either, but it's just kind of surprising that he is still kind of around.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you look at the injury, so it's Jace Fry is out, and that's the next thing we were going to get to. But you got Jace Fry out there, and then you're just going to need to insulate. And he's had major league experience, and he's had flashes. Like I remember that, what was it, the 4th of July weekend in 2019? That's when he was at his best, peak, White Sox performance. He locked it down and got us through some of those extra innings in that kind of crazy game where what was it, Abreu and Moncada hitting late home runs to tie and win the game. So, I think that is kind of the peak of him, but hopefully the starters are just going, long. You got an innings eater now and Lance Lynn, who I can't wait to talk about further in this episode. So hopefully it kind of alleviates that. And then we're not seeing too much Jose Ruiz, or if we are, it's big lead or we're trailing. I wouldn't like to be trailing big, but that may be the spot for him. Just eat those innings.
Johnny, you buried the lead there on that July 3rd performance there of 2019, because that was the day that I'm not sure if anybody knows this because I've never really talked about it, but I ate 22 hot dogs that day.
Oh my God. I was off the
Wait a second.
I was off.
We got to stop the tape.
Stop it.
That's ridiculous.
Stop the tape. 22 hot dogs in one day. I'm walking around on Tap Sportsnet all the time talking about how great Ron Luce did in his 17 hot dogs in one day, and I've got a guy here that can do 22 in one day. Why have we not put this to the test yet? I want to know why this isn't on footage.
I mean, look, it was a double header, so I will caveat that a little bit, but I did take down 22 of them. It happened. I have witnesses.
Your girlfriend remembers. It's right there in the comments.
I think I could probably eat 4 and fall asleep real fast.
I'm with you right there, Buzz.
So
I can't power eat.
Yeah, I can't. I could power drink and then fall asleep real fast too. It's what I'm really good at. But I guess a roster move that I was a little bit surprised about was Lucroy, because if you guys remember when Nani, I think it was the last show you were on with us, is in the off season, I had said that they might sign him, and they actually did end up signing him. I had no leads on that; it was a fucking guess. So I'm not a beef or anything like that. I don't have that inside intel. But I was kind of surprised because he got a lot of high praise, and he did pretty well in spring training. So I thought maybe they'd bring in a guy that was seasoned maybe to back up Grandal, but I am pretty happy they went with Collins. I know.
Are we sure you're not the beef though yet, Buzz?
No, I think he's beggars laid on thick pizza.
I'm not. I'm actually not Steve Cishek. That's actually who I am.
Yeah, of course.
That's a total lie as well. I'm not that guy. I might be that guy. I'll let you figure it out after a couple more beers. I might become him. But I'm happy for Collins. Left-handed bat. I'm hoping, he could do well, and, he'll be playing tomorrow. And I'm really looking for big things out of him just because he's a first round pick and maybe consistent at bats. Like Steve had said in an episode before, with consistent at bats and consistent playing time, possibly that he can, he could really turn it around and become a staple within, within our, not our lineup, but just being a depth piece that's there that can help you when needed.
Yeah, I'd say a widely held opinion on the catcher situation is that it's just time that Zach, whether it be granted at catcher or DH role, it's time that Zach Collins gets that consistent opportunity. So I think that was the ultimate deciding factor. Lucroy was good to bring in, push him a little bit, and obviously pushed him because Zach Collins hit the shit out of the ball during spring training, which is awesome to see. So at least that gives you, can't translate spring training over into regular season, and he's probably still going to have periods of struggling, especially given his history in his limited kind of action here at the show. But we'll see. And it's just, in my opinion, it's just time to let him have those at bats. So
I'm chomping at the bit here to get to the worst part of your whole entire argument for that, and that's that spring training results don't translate into regular season success. I can see Steve's face right now.
The will to win, Tony, cannot be underestimated. Steve, please take this.
You have to learn how to win. You can't just flip a light switch. Guys, hello. We've been talking about this all spring. How many more times do I have to say it? You have to learn how to win. You have to build a winning culture. That's why Tony La Russa was brought here. What other reason is there? I can't think of one. You play how you practice. They practice like shit in Arizona. So, listen, it's very easy to say. You can be a little concerned about things heading into the season here because look, I thought they were going to win the Cactus League. I was waiting for that Cactus League banner raising ceremony here. We don't get it now. I'm really concerned with what this season is going to be now because, look, they really let me down there. They didn't show that TWTW that I was expecting them to have.
You play to win the game, and you play to win the championship, no matter the circumstances, okay? Because when the Bulls won the Summer League championship, they went on to win the NBA championship. That is not true at all. It's a lie. I just said.
Get you have your Summer League T-shirt champions. That design. On Bulls Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one. I'm actually wearing it right now.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move forward and get through the injuries here. Painful segment here. Going to start with Eloy Jimenez, torn left pectoral muscle, had surgery. Initial timeline looked like 5 to 6 months. Upon the most recent news, it is being deemed 4 to 5 months. But then there's been a lot of contradictory. Then Han said, no, it's still the original timeline. But we'll see when that happens. Either way, I don't think anyone should expect him around until late August. I think that's a realistic timeline for getting back because you got to remember this left pectoral muscle that he tore. That's what you follow through with one hand on the bat. That's all right in here, right in the left chest. So I would still say that 5 to 6 months probably sounds a little more accurate. But if you want to get hopeful, 4 to 5 could be another option there. As we move down, Adam Engel, strained right hamstring. Han recently said on a spring training broadcast near the end that we could see him at some point toward the middle of April. So that's at least encouraging there. Only a couple of weeks of dealing with this kind of situation that we have right now until you have a more legitimate outfielder there that you can plug in the left field. And then Jace Fry obviously underwent back surgery before spring training. He's out for at least all of April. May 1st is probably the earliest that he could possibly return there. So we'll keep an eye on Jace Fry. And then Jimmy Cordero, obviously out this whole season with Tommy John. So that runs down injury report here early on from spring training and other injuries before that. So let's get into the lineup because that was new news today, guys. And that was obviously Tony La Russa saying that Leury Garcia will be the starting left fielder and he will bat 6th. And then also Zach Collins will be the starting DH and he will bat 8th. So thoughts on this? Fire away.
First off, we need to know if Buzz has heat in his basement.
Oh, I was on mute. I have no heat in my basement. It's really, really cold down here. So I'm all bundled up and I actually have a blanket on my feet. So you go, I don't know.
That's just Chicago tough right there.
Yeah, it's real cold down here right now. It hurts my toes. As far as the lineup goes, the whole lineup wasn't released. Didn't he just say that Leury was going to bat 6th? Wasn't that what was released today?
He confirmed Collins 8th as well.
Collins 8th. Yeah, I had saw a comment in here earlier about somebody not being happy that Leury Garcia was going to be there, and I just wanted to let everybody know that this is a non Leury Garcia slander podcast. Leury Garcia is a goddamn legend here And
Lori
Nani and I-
legend.
and Nani has the picture to prove it.
We're gonna have to find a way to get graphics up here because we can then, prove this via
We need a tech guy.
multiple photos. Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. Things take time.
We'll get all of our good kind of poses that we have.
Mhm.
The one with you with fireworks. Maybe just insert that video if
I
we're
mean, that might be
live
the-
during a game and get the I love fireworks video. I think
mean,
that's
that
gonna
might
have to
make
happen.
Might make a great intro. Just I love fireworks right into the show. You never
Yeah.
know. We'll see what we can do. But I'm not surprised that Lurie's making the lineup. What's shocking to me though is that, and I know Tony La Russa said that Vaughn will play Friday, and he also said that every guy in the roster is going to get some at bats in the first 4 games. Interesting that it's not Vaughn on opening day. I don't think we've heard anything around him signing an extension or anything right now yet. So I don't know what's going on there, but I was under the impression as well, Buzz, that, we'd see Andrew Vaughn on opening day for sure in this lineup, given the fact that they were trying to get him into left field, get him some reps there, how important it is for him to, be on the team. I don't know if it's just, you want to let him experience his first, day with the club in, Major League Baseball, not in the lineup without some of that pressure. But, I'm kind of bummed that we're not going to see him day one.
Yeah, I was pretty upset about that as well. But again, I'm kind of cool with it because Collins is getting a shot here. So I he's batting very obviously low in the lineup, but it leads me to believe with how it's kind of looking right now. I'm thinking Adam Eaton's going to bat second. Nani, you got anything on that?
I just have a mock lineup here and tell me what you guys think of this. Obviously, Tony La Russa confirmed 2 spots. So we got, that's Buzz does turn left there, but Joe, he says Lurie could be playing second base, so we're sure Vaughn isn't going to be in left field. Tony La Russa did confirm that Lurie will be in left field, so he did explicitly say that and bat 6. So at least for opening day, that's could change down the road. I totally agree with you. Could play some second, could play anywhere you need him to. But that's just a setup for opening day. So I'm going to run through this and thoughts on this lineup as you hear it. Shortstop, Tim Anderson leading off. Right field, Adam Eaton batting second. First base, Jose Abreu batting third. Third base, Yoan Moncada hitting cleanup. Catcher, Yasmani Grandal in the 5 spot. Leury Garcia batting 5th and playing left. Luis Robert batting 7th, playing center. Zach Collins, 8th, DHing. And Nick Madrigal rounding it out at second base. Thoughts?
I guess I'll take this one. My first question back to Johnny and Steve. When we were doing the preview show last year, you guys were big advocates for Yasmani Grandal leading off. What's changed?
Ooh, Steve wrote a great article about this. I'll let him elaborate.
Here's what changed. Tim Anderson took the bull by the horns, I should say. Look, he proved that he's a leadoff hitter. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, he's the straw that stirs this drink. And, as Johnny alluded to, look, I think the idea of having Moncada 4 and Grandal 5, having 2 back-to-back switch hitters there, you can really create some matchup problems for opposition, particularly late in games in high leverage spots with relievers, and they're going to kind of have to pick their poison a little bit. So, that was an angle that I hadn't previously thought of, and I think Tony, maybe showing an example of why he's a Hall of Fame baseball person with that decision.
Yep, Tony, I was on the Grandal leadoff flat train last year as well, just for the on-base skills that he has. So I'm with Steve, though. I really enjoyed that article. It was a great breakdown of kind of the potential matchup problems that it can create. And I also think that I'll get to it later in the show, but I think Yoan Moncada is due for a big year. And I think Tony kind of knows that too, seeing his potential in 2019. And then he also likes to switch hitters. And that's also a reason why you could see, why Leury Garcia may be hitting 6 here. He likes to have those options and be able to turn the, not have a matchup problem created by the other team electing to go to a bullpen, situation where they are kind of trying to mismatch you a little bit. So the switch hitter thing, that's kind of what lining them up like that. Line them up. That's what Steve's article was. So that's the explanation behind that, Tony.
Yep. And you can find that on ontapsportsnet.com. As Buzz would say, for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. I'm trying to get better at that, Buzz. I'm trying to make you proud there.
It's just
like beer sale, by the way. That's what it was.
Just like saying it with that oomph, and just getting that just extra energy into you. It's like, you got to read that at ontapsportsnet.com. You know what you can do there? You know what you can do there? You can find all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs there. That's where you can find them.
The reason I wanted to ask that question, Steve, is partly because of that article, but two, I think that there's a difference in where we were with Tim Anderson last year than we are going into this year. There was so many questions around, like, is Tim Anderson going to be able to repeat, that performance that he had? And he came out last year and he did it, and he's starting to prove, I think, a lot of people in this league, or just around the league, and a lot of fans too, that like he is the real deal. He's the leader. He's stepped up and he's done that. I think that he's the perfect guy to be in that leadoff spot right now. I wouldn't question it. Johnny, I really liked your lineup. I don't really see any issues with it, so to speak.
Yeah, that's just, I'm going off of kind of what we had said. We kind of knew Moncada was going to hit in 4, and then everyone else just kind of slots in after Tony La Russa filled in the big question marks today. So we can move on from the lineup here and talk rotation, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Giolito at the top, obviously getting the ball opening day tomorrow night. Dallas Keuchel in the 2 slot. Lance Lynn, love it, at 3. Love that he's on our team. Dylan Cease at 4, potential big bounce back year here. And then Carlos Rodon rounding things out here. So I think Rodon's the biggest question mark here. But what are we looking forward to? What are we most excited about rotation wise here? And I'll kick it down to NWI Steve for a little analysis to start us off.
NWI Steve has left the party again.
He just left.
Just disappeared.
Next man up, it's Buzz. You're in that spot now.
The Illuminati got him. I don't know what happened.
Never mind. The Illuminati did get him.
Go ahead, Steve. What do you
Way to
think
dodge the question right there.
Thoughts on rotation? What we're expecting? Surprises? Expectations? All that stuff. You going?
Look, I'll take the pitching as a whole. I think 1 through 13, this is going to be the best pitching staff in the American League. And I think you have, Lucas Gelato, as good old Christopher Russo would say, Diamond Dallas Keuchel and Lance Lynn, your big 3 right up front there. Look, I'll take those first 3 guys against any other top 3 in the American League. And I've been saying all winter, between Cease and Carlos Rodon, if one of those guys hits, this team is going to be absolutely dangerous. And I know, look, spring training can be very misleading. Carlos Rodon looks different. And there have been instances where I've looked at guys over the course of spring training. 2008 with John Danks was a perfect example. He went out there and he just had a different mindset about him, and I thought that there was going to be something different about him that year, and there was. There have been plenty of other instances where I've been wrong, and I'm not saying I'm predicting the Carlos Rodon breakout here, but it won't shock me if it does happen, because something just looks different this year. So I just think, man, this rotation can be dangerous. Obviously, if there are any injuries and if anybody has to go down for an extended period of time, what they do after that, especially with someone like Michael Kopech, is going to be kind of interesting. And you look down in the minor leagues, you got a couple of options there. Jonathan Seaver wasn't great in his cup of coffee last year, but he was rushed up to the major leagues. He shouldn't have really been there. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of development he has made over the past year. And Jimmy Lambert, that's another guy that I was very high on, who made some notable improvements in 2019. So that's a guy that could step in and, I think at least give you passable major league innings. So I think the rotation as a whole is going to be a strong suit for this team in 2021.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody's excited about 1 through 3, which I won't lie, I am too. Lucas Giolito being hopefully a Cy Young candidate once again, along with Dallas Keuchel, along with Lance Lynn. I think what those guys can give you. So I'm really looking forward to that. But also at the same time, too, I'm really looking forward to Dylan Cease and Carlos Rodon. That's something that I'm really looking forward to see how the 4 and 5 go. Like you said, Steve, this bullpen's so damn deadly. They only really need to get through like 5 innings before that bullpen comes in and starts shutting shit down. So, but in my mind, I like what I saw. I'm going to kind of, piggyback off what you said. I like what I saw out of Carlos Rodon this year. And just I'm not an expert by any means necessary, but from what people have said, he's using his lower half more than he is, and he's not putting all that strain on his arm. So that might be helping him. And I just want him to stay healthy, because we saw when he started, he was the opening day starter in 2019. And before he got hurt, I mean, he looked pretty decent. And then he got rocked in those 2 games, his last 2 starts. And that's when it was announced that he was going to go get Tommy John surgery. Guy was like at 11.9 K through 9. He looked good. And I just hope we get that back because that's a really good option for your fifth starter if he could be that guy. And it was, a cheaper option that I'm sure they could have got another fifth starter for somewhere on the market. So I'm looking forward to him. And then Dylan Cease, I just want him to be what we thought and we know he can be as he was coming up through the minor leagues here, whether he was at Winston-Salem, Birmingham, or Charlotte, whatever. I want him to be that guy. If he could be that guy, I mean, it's going to be dope. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most out of the rotation. And of course, the bullpen's just.
I love that comment. Maybe it's because he buttoned his shirt up too far that Rodon had the struggles.
Well, yeah, I think the couple buttons down is cool and tough. I mean, if I was a pitcher, I would totally do that.
Yeah, well, he's saying that he buttoned his shirt up too so far.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would have mine like all the way down, and I would have a cool routine where I put my finger in my belly button before I threw every pitch.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
That's going to get you banned for using foreign substances, Buzz. I'm gonna go complete opposite of you guys with this one from the rotation. I'm excited to see the Fear the Beard duo right now. That's Dallas Keuchel and Lance Lynn. These are the guys you brought in to anchor this thing. You've got Lucas Giolito, who's turned into your ace, but you're 2 and 3. Dallas Keuchel, Lance Lynn, guys that have been there, guys that know how to do it, guys that can be consistent, and goddamn, they've got some fucking beards that you should be afraid of. That's why you should fear the beard. I'm looking forward to seeing both of these guys just eat innings, do that exact same thing that Steve, shorten the game. You want to shorten the game? You go to Dallas Keuchel, you go to Lance Lynn. These guys have done it year in, year out. I'll be honest, before Lance Lynn, before he came here over the White Sox, I feel like he's like one of those clinically underrated guys. I've poured over his stat sheet this entire offseason to just kind of figure out what we're getting. And everything just looks like exactly what this rotation needs to put it over the top from what we had last year. And so I think if I've got to answer on one guy that I'm most excited to see, it's definitely Lance Lynn.
Then Tony, I'm right there, right in stride with you, man. We've talked about this all offseason. I was so excited when the trade went down. So I'll start there at the top, and we'll get to our general predictions and kind of categorize it later as we kind of do rapid fire there for team awards and stuff like that, and all-star predictions, all of that. But this will preface it, and Lance Lynn will be the best pitcher on the White Sox this season. That's my bold prediction. And other than that, looking at the other options in the rotation, I just think he's just going to eat like a shit ton of innings when it really matters down the stretch. After the bullpen might have been taxed a little bit. I'm talking post All-Star break. Giolito is probably your best before. Lynn is still going to be going strong into late August, early September. So can't wait. I love this mentality that he said in his intro interviews too, that said, I'm here to, pitch, 200 plus innings and on into the playoffs because that's why they got me. That's literally what he said. So he's workhorse. He's ready to work. Can't wait to see him in action. And the beard, Tony, like you said, fear the damn beard. Love it. Going to be going all year from Sox on Tap. Looking up and down, though, we know Giolito. He's solidified himself. Can't wait to see him potentially have a Cy Young campaign. That would be awesome to see. But then as we roll through the rest of it, obviously Dallas Keuchel, a little bit of struggles in spring training, and I know he had the engagement too, so he was a little bit behind, and then working back into the mix there. So hopefully, he was really dominant from the start there too. So maybe you need Giolito and Lynn to pick up a little bit more of the slack, be a little bit more dominant there because you were getting those kind of really, really solid outings early on from Dallas Keuchel last year. Might be a little bit flipped, and he might turn on in May or so. That's just kind of my prediction. And then as we look at the other ones, I think Dylan Cease is in for a much more consistent season. I sent that to you guys the other day. I think that is, I liked what I saw in spring training. Basically, I think he's a really big student of the game. He's very into the concentration and mental process that goes on there. And then he also fixed physical mechanics as well. So I think he's in for a more consistent season. He'll probably have the same kind of few outings, but no one's immune to it, of where he's given up runs early. And me and Tony are bitching on the post-game show. That's probably still going to happen at some point where, gets tagged for like 2-3 home runs within the first 3 innings. And we're, ranting and raving about it. But I think overall more consistent from Dylan Cease. And then Carlos Rodon, make me eat my words, man. I was against bringing him back. Thought the should have gone elsewhere, gone externally for an option, a little bit more solidified and reliable injury-wise. Those are my concerns there. So I hope he just makes me eat my words. I do like what I saw from him, eye test-wise during spring training, but let's see how it translates over because, he's been injury prone. So it just is happened year over year over year. Prove me wrong, make me eat my words. That's my final thought on the rotation here.
Do you guys think that like Lance Lynn has a cooler beard than me? Because I know Keuchel does, but I just wanted to get your opinions on that before we move on.
I mean, that's a
No,
tough
you
one,
hesitated.
dude.
You hesitated. It's over. Don't.
No,
don't
it's
answer.
a tough one because
you know what it is?
because
He trimmed it.
Dallas Keuchel's beard is very formed.
Well, I know his
Whereas
is better.
like you and Lynn kind of go like just full, grow that shit out.
I don't know how to form it. I can't do. Okay, it was a stupid bit. God damn it! I thought I was.
No,
I was
you're
hoping to-
you're
hoping
good.
to
I
win.
mean, you're still part of Fear the Beard crew, but I mean, we could put it to a vote off.
Yeah, I was just really hoping that I would be at least, in the realm of beating Lynn, but then I was compared to him, and it made me feel bad about myself. So we can move on.
All right. Let's move on. Let's look at
Beard
schedule.
oil. Before
I do
you
use
leave.
beard
Yes, I
oil.
know he uses beard oil. That's why I threw it up there.
Do you use Manscaped beard oil, Buzz?
I don't. I use it's called the Best Damn Beard Oil, and it smells like. You know what? I have no idea what it smells like. It smells good.
All right, I'm just wondering. All right, let's go down and look a little bit at highlights of the schedule. So obviously, opening day is tomorrow in Anaheim. So that's the first of a 4-game series out there. There will be a Sunday night baseball game in this one. So it's nice to be the first broadcast of the year on there. One of them. I know they're doing a kind of multi-event thing, but one of them, seeing the White Sox highlighted there. Get Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. He'll be starting that game because he is 4th in the rotation to start for the Angels. So that'll be a fun one to watch here starting off. And then they'll be continuing that West Coast swing early on, 3 in Seattle before they come home for the April 8th home opener, part of a 3-game set at Kansas City. Their standard day off after in case of rain, snow, more likely after the weather that Tony sent to us earlier today.
Tony Twista sent you that.
Tony Twista sent us that. Yeah. So that's a 3-game set home opener against Kansas City. And then the first we'll see of the Twins. I have all these highlighted on here, guys. Mid-May, 3-game series. There's a pair of them actually, one in Chicago, one in Minnesota. So we'll see them there. Interleague, we got the NL Central this year, and then there's going to be a little bit of a grind. Last week of June, early July, right before the All-Star break, 7 versus the Twins, a 4-game and a 3-game set there. 4th of July, notable date there at Detroit. So hopefully we can be celebrating, White Sox winner there. Get it out of the way early in the day, get hammered and light off fireworks at night, Tony. And then as we kind of move through, All-Star break follows that. July 12th through the 15th. The All-Star game itself is on the 13th. When they come out of that, 3 versus the Astros, 3 versus the Twins, and we got Buzz's birthday there on the 21st versus Minnesota. So that'll be a Twins game. Hopefully we're talking about a winner on Buzz's birthday. I kind of wanted to highlight birthdays on this one. Crosstown Classics at Wrigley, August 6th through 8th. At the rate, August 27th through 29th. Fuck the Cubs. This is a rivalry. We'll say it on here until we die, till we're blue in the face, Tony. So that's where that goes. Last, most notable thing here, and I'll get your comments on this as I run down after all of this schedule and get a few more notes after this. Last time we will play the Twins, and I think this is big, at Minnesota, August 9th through 11th. You don't see them the rest of that home stretch. I think that can be big for the White Sox, especially considering the late, season collapse last year out of the first place spot there. At Blue Jays, though, this will be an interesting test kind of going into the last month of the season. It's August 23rd through 26th, and Tony's half birthday happens here because he is a winner birthday. So hopefully we're celebrating a win over the Blue Jays. And,
I like how you went and grabbed half birthdays for this.
Well, because remember,
we punch into detail here.
We are, and I'm mentioning these because we are going to run something from Sox on Tap, and we want to see what the White Sox record is on your birthday, or, like if you're a winner birthday, flip it to your half birthday, then the 6 months away, so because that one of them's bound to be in baseball season. So we want to do that. So I wanted to highlight some of these here. And then
how are you accounting for off days as we go forward? I'm just trying to find holes in this plan.
You're getting nitty gritty there. So I mean, we're gonna have to figure out before or after. So
figure it out. Closest
before or closest after probably is the move there, Tony. Last 2 weeks of the season though, because these were pertinent last year, includes 2 off days, so that is big. But they started off with the 4-game series at Cleveland, September 23rd through 26th. Remember how nightmarish that was to kick off that last week of the season last year. And then they will have the Reds at home for a 2-game set. My birthday on one of those, the finale of that series, the 29th of September. So we'll see how that one goes. And then versus Tigers to close it out, October 1st through 3rd. There will be Soxtober no matter what. That's just the kind of consolation there. And then I'm gonna have to go dig up Steve's. But go ahead and comment on the schedule here. Highlights, what you like, what you don't, what you're concerned about, or what you're looking forward to.
I guess the one thing that I would say from a scheduling standpoint, we talk about being done with the Twins by, early to mid-August, is the Twins are not going to see Eloy Jimenez at all this year. Assuming he gets back late some point in August or even in September, they're going to get all 18 of those games without the big boy in the middle of the lineup. And that, I think, is going to be pretty significant.
Don't bring me down. Don't bring me down like that, Steve.
I'm sorry, Tone. I think it's a big deal, man. As much as I would like to say that it's not, I mean, I really thought there was an outside shot that the big boy was going to hit 50 bombs this year and be the first guy in the history of the franchise to do it. So I'm still a little bit in mourning over this. I mean, part of my soul feels like it kind of died here, and the idea of him hitting home runs off of Alex Colomé in the 9th inning was something that really got my nads pumping.
You only wanted to see him hit a home run off of Alex Colomé so that you can get in my replies. That's probably one of the only reasons that you wanted to see that happen, because you wanted to see my reaction to it. That's what you wanted to see.
That and I wanted to tell Ken W.O. to fuck off after it.
Well, that too.
What would your reaction be? You'd be happy too.
I'd be happy too, but I feel like Steve was mad at me because I liked Alex Colomé.
Hey, we all.
And so
did.
I was waiting for the Whites. I was waiting for somebody, and I still am. I'm waiting for that walk off during this season off of Alex Colomé, and he melts down, and I get those messages from somebody, and it might be Steve, and I feel like it's coming from Steve. Like, oh, see, look, now he's not good. We shouldn't have signed him. I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for that day.
I've got a very special comment saved for you in the event if he does blow a save against the Sox.
Is it already in the draft, Steve?
No, it's all up here, and it's going to be ready to go.
Okay, that's fantastic. I think the best part of the schedule for me is being done with them in pretty much the early part of August with the Twins.
Is it the best part about it though, or is it the worst? Because if we need to make up ground and you don't have any time left against them, that's not good either. And especially when Eloy does come back later in the year, if he does come back, wouldn't you want him to face them? So isn't that kind of a detriment here? At least that's how I'm looking at it.
It could be. I mean, Tom Troj with a really good thing here. He just put, we don't control our destiny then, if, I'm happy about that. But I just don't like to play the Twins because I want to beat the Twins and they are a fucking thorn in my side. So the quicker I'm done with them, and if we're close and we don't have to play them and we can get in, I don't give about destiny. I just want to get in October. That's where I want to get.
Let's go back to the point where, like, we shouldn't have to worry about them right now after your GM said you have World Series aspirations. Like, we shouldn't even need to look at, the division as a problem.
I have different opinions than my GM. So I would rather not have to worry about them and just get into the playoffs and make some magic happen there. So I wouldn't want to have to run through them in in a series down the road towards the end of the season where it's just like do or fucking die, because I would be literally how I'm sitting right now on the edge of my seat, stressed out and just in ruins, because I do kind of fear the Twins. I mean, I think that we could beat them. I think we have I don't want to say a better team because that sounds ignorant, but I think that they're just going to be a big thorn in our side. And I just want to get it out of the way, be competitive with them, and not have to go up against them if, a playoff spot's on the line is basically where I'm at.
So I skipped over this. I forgot to add it in because Steve sent it. I'd not gotten completely collected here, but Steve's half birthday then will be mid September here, the 15th, against the Angels, a Wednesday night game there. So unfortunately, no dollar dogs. That would have been fucking perfect, Steve.
Rat bastards, they're screwing me again.
If we don't win the Central, who are we worried about down the stretch? That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know. That's good. It is a good question. I don't know. When's the last time we played Cleveland?
Yeah, they're
September
late.
23rd through 26th.
Yeah, they're late.
Yeah, they're late.
Yeah,
so.
I think Buzz kind of nails that. I mean, just Cleveland's going to be weird this year in that I don't know how they're going to score any runs, but they're still going to pitch the shit out of the ball. Fuck you, Sal. No, I don't celebrate my half birthday, you bastard.
Just be born in fucking summer, dude. Just change it. Just change your birthday. Like shit. Is that what you want, Sal? There you go.
God damn it, Sal.
We got another. Who is the Debbie Downer of us four? And that's by David Bennett from Facebook. And who is a super positive guy, even when things are going totally in the toilet.
This is such an easy answer for me.
This is when we do live TV. We have to have.
Yeah, this is such an easy answer for me. I'll take it first. I mean, if you want the super positive guy, there's a guy that we have on the show who is a complete homer no matter what, and that's Buzz. And if you go with Downer, I mean, we've got negative Nani right here next to me. So, I mean, that's a super easy answer. I'll let you guys go, but
yeah, I'll keep you guys all in check or keep it real, keep it grounded. That's
I guess when it comes to being a homer the Sox, I think you guys will agree with this. The Sox are the only team I'm a homer about in the entire city of teams. That's the only one that I'm like looking at the silver linings because I just want them to be good so badly, and I'll justify a move that they make even when the world is burning down. Besides when, we don't sign a left fielder to back up Eloy. And I went off about, Yasiel Puig. That's the only time you'll see me throwing a bitch fit. But other than that, I am usually the glass half full guy. Steve and Nani keep it pretty real. And I always like to say that Tony, like you got to really piss Tony off to have Tony like go off the deep end, which in 2019, when we were covering this team every game, I guess that was pretty much every night. So, yeah.
I mean, I think I've been on a show with all of you where I've gone off. Maybe not Steve, but Johnny can attest, like even with the Blackhawks, like it does take a little bit to get me fired up, but I don't think anything makes White Sox Sale happier than when I absolutely unload on something and just go off like that when Coach Q got fired or, when Eloy runs into a wall. I mean, just stupid things piss me off. And so, when I see something that's stupid, I'm going to call it out. So pretty fair assessment.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of that whole thing there. I kind of want to get back to the schedule here, guys. You guys pointed out some stuff within yours. I'm thinking kind of a little more specialty. I think you guys hit really well on the advantages and disadvantages of playing the Twins, up until only mid-August. And then, if you're chasing them, sure, it's hard to make up ground. Don't control your own destiny. Thanks for the comments that pointed all of that as well. But I'm looking at specialty games here. I am glad that they are weekend series. I know they were last year too, but for the crosstown, because there have been like random fucking like Tuesday through Thursday series. It's just like, come on, you got to put that on a weekend for the people. So I'm glad they got that right this year. That's good. They're both weekend series in August. So those will be some fun dog days of summer there. And then also the St. Louis Cardinals, they come to town, man. Nolan Arenado's in tow. They got Paul Goldschmidt, man. Last time they were in town, both those guys were not part of that roster. So I'm looking forward to seeing them when they come to town. And my cousin, I'll be going to the games with him. He's a big St. Louis fan. So it's always fun to have some kind of family banter back and forth. So I'm looking forward to those. And then, I think it's just going to be a tough test against Toronto because they're a good team. They just signed George Springer. I mean, they're a young up and coming team. So you talk about tough tests down the home stretch there. That could be one in those dog days of summer that I just mentioned. That's late August. And you're going up to Toronto there for 4. So I think that could be a tough stretch.
That's a series that I had kind of circled on my calendar that I was hoping to maybe go take a road trip there since I haven't been to that ballpark yet. The one little caveat I would say to your statement there, Johnny, is the Blue Jays can't really get anybody out. And by late August, that's really going to kind of be a problem, I think, for them, unless they make a trade at the deadline. So I think the Sox could actually eat pretty good up there on that Blue Jays pitching.
I hope they do. They do have some potency in their lineup though. So that could be, if you have injuries in the rotation at that point, could just be a sleeper one, I just kind of get that vibe too, especially when it's an extended road trip like that, as you're getting down in those kind of, like I said, dog days of summer, the best way to put it there. I think you can just kind of be a team mentality or fatigue standpoint when you get to that juncture. So let's see how it plays out. But those are just some of the highlights there. Let's move on to the ballpark experience. Obviously, completely stripped down, recalibrated for accommodating people during COVID with the limited capacity, all of that. Let's just get this out the way right now. And this is my opinion, but I think at least Tony shares this. I'll let you guys fire off on it. The COVID restrictions fucking suck. I know some of it is necessary. Got to do it for the social distancing and the, entry and all of that stuff. But, no tailgating, that sucks. It deteriorates from the ballpark experience and makes me want to go to fewer games until they get that back. I'll still go to some, but definitely not as frequently as I would go in a normal season. How about you guys?
Honestly, it's not going to really impact me that much. I'm so desperate to sit in the fucking ballpark and just watch baseball game that honestly I'll just fucking deal with it. It's not ideal. It's gonna kind of suck, especially again not having the Dollar Dog Wednesdays and some of the other promos and things that people like going to. But at the end of the day, I think that it comes back to kind of that supply and demand sort of thing. Is there was no opportunity to be able to go to a baseball game for me in person last year, so there's just a lot of pent up demand for me on my end.
Hold up, you could have come to the Chicago Dogs game with the on tap outing. Could have.
Oh, we're still going there, huh? Okay, Jenny.
You just said live, going to a live baseball game. You didn't specify.
All right. I didn't get to see a live White Sox game last year. So I mean, like I said, it's obviously it's not going to be the same here. I think especially for these first couple of months. But, it just kind of is what it is. I just want to be back in the ballpark.
Yeah, I love the tailgate atmosphere. I love going there. I love, cooking some food, drinking some beers before we get in there. And as you guys know, I like to drink so many beers before I get in there, so I don't have to really pay for too many when I'm in the stadium because, I'm a baller on a budget. So I can't do that. But once I get to go again, I get my second vaccine on April 11th, and that's when I'll start trying to get into these games and stuff like that, just trying to be safe and conscious of having little ones at home and whatnot. So, but even when we're not able to, as long as we're together and we're taking in baseball, I'm totally fine with it. Like, I just kind of like Steve said, I'm desperate to get into the stadium. I'm desperate to watch a live sporting event again, and I'm desperate to see what is hopeful to be a very good White Sox season. I want to take that in person.
We all say this looking at it right now, but I guarantee they're going to absolutely fucking shaft you on the limited food menu that's available, what you can get. They're going to run out of, something by the third inning. They're going to, the beer's going to be flat or it's going to be warm, some shit like that. And it's going to be fucking unbearable.
Well, that's just
that's what's going to happen because I can just totally foresee it when everybody's kind of locked into their own sections there. So I'm just saying it right now. The ballpark experience is going to suck, but I'll go because I do want to see the team, and I will enjoy my time, especially if the White Sox are winning there. But the overall atmosphere, we've seen how good it can be, and I just am dying to get back to that. So I understand these are things that we need to do to be able to get back to that point, but that also doesn't make it not open to criticism.
Oh, no. Absolutely. Absolutely agree with you there. I mean, what we live off of and what we do, and especially like within the on-tap sports realm of things, is we tailgate everywhere, but where you can obviously tailgate. You can't tailgate at the United Center. We all know that. But like whether I'm at Soldier Field or we're at the Rate, it's always a party. It's always a good time before we get into the game. We're tailgating. We have our routines that, Nani, that's usually you picking me up and us going to the game, eating some food, drinking some beers, taking some of Jen's Jello shots, and then heading into the game. We're not going to have that this year. I just think that, again, piggybacking off of Steve, it's just I am so desperate to get in there with my friends and take in a baseball game and what's hopeful to be a great season and just have that in my life again. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of things, but I do agree with you where it fucking sucks. We can't do what we want.
Well, make sure you buy your 81 game pod or whatever the fuck you have to do to get in on the ground floor there. So, we can all get our prime locations and, all that shit. So
I'll sell a
Tony,
kidney for it.
back me up here. Come on. It's
Yeah,
bullshit.
so I haven't said much because I haven't said much because I'm evaluating out the conversation here. But I think for me, I mean, part of the joy of going to the White Sox game is number one, getting to talk with people in Lot B and have beers with people who you're not going to sit with or see and talking about the White Sox before the game. From what I've heard from my ticket rep, you're going to get your assigned parking lot before you show up to the game. You're going to park in your assigned parking space, and then you're going to walk up and you're going to show your tickets or whatever. They're going to take your temperature. You're going to go in and you're going to sit in your pod, and you've got an assigned bathroom, and you've got an assigned seat, and you've got an assigned food vendor, and things like Johnny brought up. Like, okay, so if your assigned food vendor doesn't have, what you're looking for today, or the beer's flat there, you don't have the option to just go to the Revolution Room or the Craft Cave or to any of the other establishments around the ballpark where you can grab something. So, I mean, the potential for, terrible customer service experience, like a terrible customer service experience is right there for you. You're going to get what it is, especially with the limited seating capacity games where season ticket holders have been refunded their money, and you've got to sit in your assigned pod, so you're not getting your seats. What I've also heard is that, just because you have tickets in your account for May, if the limited capacity continues, you're going to be refunded those, and you're going to need to go back out onto the market and buy those tickets. You'll be in line for priority, but you're not going to get your seats. It's not going to be the same ballpark experience. And, for me, just personally, I'm waiting for the day that we all get back and have that moment, like when Yoan Moncada had his first at bat at the ballpark. When Michael Kopech threw his first pitch, we got robbed of that for Eloy Jimenez. And just because we're going to have opening day and it's going to be limited capacity, this is the first time we're going to get to see Luis Robert, in person for most of us. It's not going to have the same electric feel. It's not going to have the same, just the roar of the crowd and the anticipation for it, because it's going to be a different experience. And as a fan, I feel robbed of that due to this. I understand the implications around it, but also, like, you walk into those moments 4 or 5 beers later after you're, coming out of Lot B and you're feeling great and you're loose. The only way you're going to be 4 or 5 beers deep is if you're, $50 in on the night before the first pitch even happens. So I just feel like the atmosphere, the crowd is going to be completely different than what we've ever been used to. And, for me, Johnny, I've been to games with you plenty of times, Buzz, you as well. Like, going to the Revolution Room to go pick up that free hat ain't happening. And God forbid, like, I don't know, they haven't said anything, but when Tim Anderson launches that home run into, the left field bleachers for a game winner and there's no fireworks, like, how are you going to feel when you're sitting there in the stadium? Yeah. It's going to be a total fucking letdown. And that's just how I feel.
I don't understand. I understand, like, whatever, not giving out promotions for the physical transfer of that, but come on, fireworks go up in the air and explode. Well, I fail to understand how that has to do with COVID, but I think we can.
Tinfoil hat time, Johnny. Tinfoil hat time. This is all just Jerry Reinsdorf trying to figure out what he can cut to save money from the fan experience.
That's not so far fetched to where it can honestly not even be a tinfoil hat time there. So I think I can underline all of this because we do need to get to our standard predictions here as we rattle them off. I can underline all of this and say, when the White Sox are on the come up, a global pandemic would happen. # that's so White Sox. Let's move on. All right, predictions time, boys. I'm going to read off. We're going to go round table here. So let's start, and we'll go. I'll read the thing, and then it'll go Tony, Buzz, Steve, back to me. I'll give mine and read off the next category, and we'll have them prepped, ready to go here with our predictions. Kind of do it rapid fire, and then we can do a little more analysis after that happens. So let's go. White Sox record this year, Tony.
I'm going 90-72.
Buzz.
92-70.
88-74.
God damn it, Steve.
74. Guys, this is uncharted territory. Let's fucking go. 93 and 69.
Holy shit! How did you have the most?
You had the bet. What?
Let's go.
You did the 69 because it's nice. That's
Thank
why-
you.
Well, that is
Johnny.
I did see that when I was kind of like putting this together, and I did chuckle to myself and say nice. But let's go. Let's go. I'm if the experience, the kind of atmosphere can't be the same, let's the team bring the juice and get on a roll here. And I think there's going to be some special performances from some individuals here that we'll get to here. So let's go playoff destiny. What happens?
ALCS appearance, and that's where they get bounced.
Oh my God, I'm a homer. World Series or bust, man. World Series or bust.
Win it.
Win it. No, you're fucking winning it. I don't.
All right.
You're winning it. You're winning it.
I love it. I love it, Buzz. That's a good one. Steve?
Bounced in the ALDS.
God damn it.
Okay.
Steve.
I'm with Tony here. Lose in the ALCS this year. So next category in our predictions. Team MVP. Tony.
Yohan Moncada.
Yohan Moncada.
Yo.
I love it. A clean sweep here. Yohan Moncada, team MVP. Let's go. That was part of the big bounce back that I was talking about here. Team Cy Young. Tony.
Lance Lynn.
Lucas Giolito.
Lucas Giolito.
Lance Lynn. All right. Comeback player of the year. So this can be from injury, absences, COVID, all of that. Tony.
I mean, Yohan Moncada. I mean, he had a down year last year. It's got to be Yohan.
I also put Yohan Moncada for that because of the COVID thing and how it affected him last year. So I think that he returns to 2019 form and he builds on that with a fully healthy body. So
Same. I think he's going to go off this year, hitting in that number 4 spot. I think Tony's challenging him early, putting him in that position, and I think he's going to thrive, and I think he's going to put up big numbers.
So I think this is a fairly obvious one. Obviously, Yohan Moncada is the answer if he's going to be the team MVP. Obviously, he's going to be the best bounce back player, but I do want to give an honorable mention to Dylan Cease. Like I said, I think he's in for a much more consistent year. Maybe not eye-popping, Cy Young shit, but more consistent, which you need out of those depth rotation guys. So,
I mean, there could be an honorable mention there for Michael Kopech as well, depending on how it goes.
Very, very well could be as well. That could be one, but mine would be Dylan Cease if I was picking a 1A behind Yohan Moncada. So let's go with best newcomer. This includes signings, trade acquisitions, or rookies. Best newcomer, Tony.
Lance Lynn, hands down.
Liam Hendricks, I think he's gonna do real well, and I'm excited for him. So I'm gonna pick Liam Hendricks here. A lot of hype around him. I think he lives up to that hype.
Lance Lynn, he gives them, a third quality starting pitcher, and he's going to give them very important quality innings that they're going to need in an elongated season coming off of the 60-game sprint last year.
For all those reasons that Steve just said, Lance Lynn, best newcomer. All-Stars. Who's making the All-Star team, Tony?
Tim Anderson, Lance Lynn, and Yohan Moncada.
Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, Jose Abreu, Lucas Giolito.
Oh.
I have Yohan Moncada, Jose Abreu, Lucas Giolito, Yasmani Grandal, Liam Hendricks, and Tim Anderson.
Wow.
Ooh.
I love it. I love the quantity that you have there, Steve. I don't have as much quantity, but Yohan Moncada, Liam Hendricks, Lucas Giolito, and Jose Abreu. That's my all-stars. So award winners, anyone winning any hardware at the end of the season, Tony?
I do see an outside shot, and I know this goes against some of the other things, but if I had to place some money, I'd say Lucas Giolito, Cy Young.
I've got Lucas Giolito, Cy Young. I have Tim Anderson with the batting title.
I have no White Sox receiving individual awards.
All right. Maybe I should have specified this because this is kind of a little more general, but I think this can kind of cover. And if you have any thoughts after I go, Liam Hendricks, reliever of the year, running it back to back.
I could see that.
Luis Robert, Gold Glove in center. Yasmani Grandal, Gold Glove behind the plate. Jose Abreu, Silver Slugger at first. Tim Anderson, Silver Slugger at at short. You guys got any Silver Slugger, Gold Gloves that you want to throw in now that I said those?
I would just pretty much agree with what you just said, actually.
Yeah, I could see Luis Robert. I thought we were talking more like MVP, Cy Young, rookie of the year.
when I was like digging through it, then though, I was like, I'll just throw them in there just for discussion's sake. So, Steve, you got any further on that? Silver Skull gloves.
Yeah, I would say Abreu and Yaz on the Silver Sluggers. I think Lubov is going to get fucked on the Gold Glove because assuming Byron Buxton plays like 30 games this year, which is a big risk with him. I think the voters will give it to him.
30 games. I fucking love it. I love the Twins hate coming out early here. Baseball is just around the corner with that. So, guys, we had some questions flood in. I'm glad we get those predictions out of the way. Maybe we'll have to, we have, I think I told all of you guys to have yours ready. So maybe we can compile these and maybe keep them at the bottom of our rundown here and check back in on them. As the season progresses, maybe at the All-Star break, and then obviously when it's all said and done on our season reflection episode when that comes around in November or early December. So questions that came through from the Twitter replies. I know it's been great. Thank you to everybody who has had these ones come in the chat from various places, Facebook or from Periscope. We appreciate those. So hopefully we answered some of those there. But questions that came in through Twitter. Lucas Perfetti, favorite bat flip of all time. This is a good one.
Jose Bautista. Gotta love the original like bat flip that sent everybody into a craze. Jose Bautista.
There's been so many awesome ones, but I'm a homer. Tony called me a homer, so it's gonna be Tim Anderson off of Keller, and then when he got plunked, the fight broke out. So that's my favorite one because fights are cool and tough in baseball. So I'm taking that one.
Yeah, I got to agree with Tony. I think the Jose Bautista one in the playoffs against Texas, I remember watching that at the gym when it happened, and I literally just screamed, "Holy fuck!" And everybody looked at me like I was from another planet.
Yeah, that's a good one. Guys, you're going to hate me for this, but Wilson Contreras is last year against us. He pimped that shit.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yes, he did. When you're talking about take out, blur out, like when Tony and I were talking about Nick Schmaltz, a great play for the Coyotes, the guy that we hate. Blur out Wilson Contreras. That bat flip was fucking sweet. Maybe not the best of all time, but you guys already went with Bautista, so I just wanted to switch it up there. All right, let's go.
You're gonna get booed by some of the new listeners.
Absolutely. I'll boo myself, but I will say he pimped the fucking shit out of that. So that was a good bat flip. All right, White Sox Sal. Is anyone going to score on this bullpen?
Tony's going first. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You can go.
Yeah, definitely going to happen eventually, but I think this bullpen's going to be so goddamn deadly that we could trust him night in and night out.
They'll give up 2 tree unearned runs this year.
No, a couple 2 tree.
It's going to happen because inevitably I think we have to have that moment on this show where this team's going to face some adversity. I think that they're going to have a great year, but at the same point in time, there's definitely going to be a few different instances where we're sitting here going like, come on guys, what the fuck? So this bullpen's going to get scored on, but I think it's built well enough to get the job done.
Not on Aaron Bummer. Let's say that. All right. Next question that we have is Dr. Level. Why is Ethan Katz going to be the biggest addition to this franchise? Steve, I think you're a good one to start here.
I think just a new voice. Look, sometimes you have to have a new voice from a coaching standpoint come in to guys that are veterans that, we're so used to hearing the Don Cooper tired old cliches, stay tall, throw the cutter there, chief, get ahead. Bring in some new, fresh ideas and just a new voice. Sometimes that's what guys need. And I think Dylan Cease and Carlos Rodon, I think, are 2 prime candidates for that. So just shorten to the point with that.
I'll say the biggest reason that he is going to be the biggest addition to this franchise isn't because of what he can get done on the field with some of these pitchers. It's because the White Sox have tried again to make another move where they're trying to make somebody comfortable in order to sign here. And I think that they're hinging on the fact that he is here and that Lucas Giolito will sign an extension with this franchise. And I think that it's one of the reasons that you were able to let James McCann go. It's one of the reasons why Lucas Giolito will be more comfortable here. And on top of that, you add all of the additional benefits that Steve just talked about. I think that's why he could be considered just one of the best additions to this team overall.
Yeah, there's I kind of agree with everything you just said about that, Tone. But one thing I like about Katz, and where I think he's going to be here for a while, hopefully, which is a long while, is that it feels like. Have you ever guys heard that term, like a good manager is how you adapt to your employees? Have you ever heard that before? Like that's how I kind of feel about Katz adapting to the different kind of pitchers that he's working with. So I think it's a fresh new taste, a hip new taste on what we were lacking before with Coop. So I think that he's going to be very important. And just once again, the work that he did with Lucas Giolito, if he can capture some of that magic into pitchers that we have now that we're kind of struggling, a la like a Dylan Cease or a Carlos Rodon, and he can get, maximize their full potential, I think that's huge. So that's my take on him.
I mean, you guys took all the legitimate points. I'll go for a joke one here, and that's because the media will milk that Giolito Katz connection for all that they fucking can. They already have milked it bone dry. They'll find ways to spin it throughout the season. So get ready for those beat reporters coming through with those. So, all right. The last one from Father Sean Jaco. It says, how long will the longest White Sox home run be, and who will hit it? I like this one. We got Tone.
This is a tough one. It's definitely going to be Dion Viciedo when they finally bring him over from the Chunichi Dragons, and he parks one onto the Dan Ryan.
I'm gonna go Luis Robert. I think he's gonna hit one. I think he's gonna hit one about Nomar Mazara level at 505 feet. That's what he's gonna do. Because watch out for Nomar Mazara too, because he will hit the longest home run. It'll be the one home run he has on the year, but he will hit the longest home run this season.
Probably against us too, Buzz.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Nick Madrigal.
Jesus Christ. Could we bet on that on Bet Rivers? Can we?
We might be able to. We'll try and get in contact with people.
There's got to be
See
a
if we
prop
can
bet
make
in
that
there
happen.
somewhere.
Yeah. Steve, you got another response that you want, or are you just gonna roll with that?
No, that's what I'm going to go with.
I love it. I'll go. Yeah, Luis Robert, very similar to. I think Trojan had that comment there. It's close to what he hit. I think it might have been around there, 486 at Oakland last year. I'll pin it in that range, maybe around 480. Luis Robert pulling one.
I'll give my actual answer. It's going to be Eloy Jimenez when he gets back. He's going 492.
Ooh. All right. I like that. So that wraps up those questions here. For fun stuff, will there be a game where Yoan Moncada is not picked as our pick to click? That's my kind of question here to lead us in for our group.
Yes, there will be. If you're new to the show, we do pick to click on every post-game show for the next game. Yoan Moncada is a common name. However, when this team does go on a losing streak, our picks to click can get a little bit interesting.
Ooh, that's true. That's true.
I do think that the first 3-game losing streak, I'm going Roger Bossard hands down, and I'm sure you guys are going to follow it up with something.
We're going to need to pour some out for Coop because that was always a good pick.
Don Cooper was a good pick.
Yeah.
Don Cooper can still be a pick as you stick to click.
Yeah, I like that. No, Moncada will be kind of having a hamstring issue at some point here and there. So that would be that. But I just had to say that because all of our team MVPs here figured he'd be a very common. He'll probably be one of the most common ones selected in here. So, guys, I don't have too much else here. We're about to wrap this thing up. Let's get to some shout outs before we close it down.
Shout outs. There's plenty of shout outs to give. Number one, Tony Kraetz, the winner of the Grandstand and Sox on Tap giveaway. He's got his Tim Anderson jersey in the mail. Thank you for supporting everybody who entered that contest. Thank you for hopping on, giving us a review, following Grandstand, following Sox on Tap. I think that's the most appropriate shout out. So crack them to you guys who participated, followed the instructions, came out to the site and entered the contest. I hope you guys stick around for our post-game shows, and we'll provide a lot more of this throughout the year, and we'll have a lot of fun together. So crack them, enjoy that, and there's my shout-out, Buzz.
So my first shout-out goes to Grandstand Tony Kraetz for winning the TA7, the Boys Are Back, and the On Tap Sportsnet Swag Pack contest. That's him. I have 3. My second shout out is to the good looking guy that recorded a commercial at Grandstand. I don't know his name, but he recorded a commercial there, and he was just, I mean, his arms were huge, and it's just a good looking guy. And I can't put my finger on his name. I think his name's Steve, but yeah, that is my second shout out. And then my third shout out is to our boy at Summer George. That is our third shout out, always making great content. So that's my third shout out, Summer George on Tap Sportsnet Zone. And yeah, those are my shout outs for today.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue the trend here, shouting out Grandstand. Want to give one out specifically to Josh and Stephanie over there at the store. Saw them over the weekend here. Like always, doing a great job helping me out, trying to find some items. Look, I got a 10-year-old niece. I don't know what the hell to get for this girl, and so Stephanie, really helped me out trying to find a shirt for her. So that was good. And then got to give a shout out to my guy Sal here. We're a few short hours away from unleashing that magical post-game winning gif here. So get ready for it. You're going to see it 88 times. One more for the good guys. Right there, Sal.
Hell yeah. I love it. Great shout outs there. Yeah, obviously Grandstand and Josh, because he kind of shares. If he was on this episode and he was part of our predictions kind of roundtable rapid fire that we did there, he would have said Yohan Moncada too for MVP, for team MVP, if you remember that last Grandstand episode that we have. So shout out Josh and Steph as well, because that was awesome having them on last episode. And then Southside Zoe, Matt Zwaski, first of all, crack him, having a Busch Light for you, Zoe. And second of all, thanks for helping me pump the White Sox ballpark mix back, because I made it opening day of spring training. Going to run another little promo video tomorrow, but he kind of helped me get that back in the news cycle today. So thank you, Zoe. That's my shout out. And that's all I've got for the show, guys. How about you? Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. It's great to be talking here on opening day eve with all of you, enjoying some beverages as we always do. And, thank you to everybody who tuned into this. We had quite a few people in here throughout this show. Really enjoyed getting on here with you guys and just, thinking about the season that's ahead of us. It's going to be a really fun time around White Sox baseball, and hope you guys stick with us and enjoy the post-game shows. Tune in after every single game. And Sal's already coming out with it. White Sox forever, man.
I'm just looking forward to getting back to the grind of a 162 game season with all of you. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest with you. I can't wait to hit games like we talked about earlier, even though it will be different. I can't wait to get on the mic, talk about our favorite team, talk some White Sox baseball, and have a good time doing it. So I honestly cannot wait. I'm so fucking jacked up for tomorrow. Like how I started the episode right now, like I'm starting to get jacked up again. I'm feeling real good that we're going to be able to do this for a whole grind in what is hopeful to be a badass season. So that's where I'm at.
I just hope that the team can kind of turn the tide a little bit after the poor showing in spring training. Spring training matters. You got to set the tone. They didn't do a very good job of that here in the month of March. So I hope Tony's got a big pregame speech tomorrow. Lots of fire and passion.
I do. I've got a huge pregame
I think
speech.
he's talking about TLR.
No, I know, but I'm going to jump in on every single fucking opportunity I can when people say Tony and bring up my name. I've got a huge pregame speech tomorrow. I'm going to get these boys riled up. We're going to win some fucking ball games.
That's good. Look, we need that, but they got to turn this tide here, okay? And look, here's the overarching point. We're like 22 hours away. White Sox baseball. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. You need to get jacked up for tomorrow's game. A little shameless self-promotion here. Like I'd mentioned earlier, I made the White Sox ballpark mix like I do every year. This is the third volume of it. It's got a shit ton of White Sox sound bites interlaced over several various songs that you'd probably hear at a Lot B tailgate, and I kind of try to transition them, mash it up, have some of the best moments from last year, some classic clips that are just White Sox related in general. So you want that hour-long mix, you just throw play button on and let it go, and it gets you pumped up for baseball season. Go check my pinned tweet and you can download and listen there for free, and that'll get you jacked up for baseball. And we'll be back here with all these post-game shows. So boys, I think that about does it.
Hey guys, White Sox forever.
White Sox forever.
White Sox forever, but I got to do my ad reads before we leave.
For life.
Oh, do you?
You got ad reads? Give them out.
I got ad reads. So everybody that listen to this show live or is listening in podcasting form, what you can do if you want to go bet on the White Sox to win tomorrow in the opening day of baseball. Start at $9.05. Go to Bet Rivers. If you're not signed up there, use promo code on tap. They'll match up to $250. So if you deposit $250, you're getting another $250. That's $500. I'm not a mathematician, but that's fucking cool and tough. So be sure you're going to betrivers.com, signing up using promo code on tap. Again, go to Grandstand. Go to Grandstand. Check them out, grandstand.com. Follow them on all social media, Grandstand Socks. You can check them there. Be sure you're going to ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us all on Twitter at Tony on Tap, at Nani Johnny, at NWI_Steve, and me at Buzz on Tap. And we'll be back tomorrow night with the first damn recap, the first post game.
Woo!
I know, dude. It jacks me up.
Me and Tony on that one. You and Steve on Friday
Yes.
night. So you get, boom, all of us right in the first 2 games.
It's going to be fucking magical, guys. I was going to do the grandstand read again, but I don't think I could do it as good as I did the first time. So I'm just going to leave it at that for this first episode here. But we're going to be here, man. Tomorrow night, like Johnny said, it's Tony and Nani. Friday, it's me and Steve. Don't miss these. Now we could say White Sox forever.
White Sox forever.
Or life.